Hi. So here's the thing. I've been gone for some time and we're now in December. December 5th to be exact. And I'm at a different location. Here's the thing. I've been through a lot since we last spoke, and a lot before that, and a lot before that. Just go back to my YouTube. You'll understand. However, the latest it's some parent people, yes, including my parents, but they involved other people that they literally about to get arrested because of their fuckery. And hold up, I'm going to go tomorrow. We have decided tomorrow and do what I need to do. If they get arrested, that's their fault. Why? Because everybody, everybody seemed to want to fight me on doing what I asked. I literally say, do these things, and I'll do these. You know what's funny? If they just listen to me, they've gotten what they want. They do what I asked, they've gotten what they want. But instead, you know what they did? They do what they want till they are forced to do what I want, or just doing what they want, which you know what always end up being the case? It always falls in line with God's plan. And you know what's funny too? When I say to do what I say, not what God say. There is the times I say, do what God say. They don't want to listen. Then I say, do what I say. Then they do what they want, what they believe, to try to contradict what I say. And it just, or to contradict what I say God says. It always hurt them, make me back on the track with what God says. Because when I say what I ask for, I'm always asking either to come out of this journey, to just bring some ease that would have made me even maybe diluted what God would have done, because I'd be too focused on that one task, not able to be able to see the revelation of the bigger picture or the bigger plan or the bigger promise, or see where the promise get bigger. But if only they listen, I will break that down. You see, let's start with the very first one, where instead of supporting me, they end up making me more empowered. I started this journey March 15, 2021. Yes. And the instruction was to get ready, pack your bags, pack for England, pack for Miss World, hence this dress is a part of it. And I decided to make some TikToks. It should be out already by the time this is uploaded. However, I packed for Miss World. I packed for those kind of events. And I got ready and I sat in the living room and waited on God and stayed ready. And I told my parents what God told me to do, got promises, some money, some a whole lot of stuff. Just check the past YouTube. And instead of supporting me, even if you don't fully understand it, even if it sounds like it doesn't make sense, or the God that you put in a box, so it doesn't make sense to what you have planned, you know what's even funnier? They end up pushing me further in the journey. Why? There are many times I gave up, and even I can't even say completely blame them. My sister came and supported and said, "Believe it, blah blah blah." So I was like, "All right." And then there was a time I was just frustrated with everybody and everything. And then they got frustrated and pushed it, and I went and decided, you know what? Let me trust God. Go in my car, and that's where it started. Living in my car. Then there's another time. I think the time my father found me, I was getting a little frustrated there. He found me parked somewhere, and by then they found out I was living in my car. But that's after I got into a hotel stay, by God inspired, and I told them about it, and they're like, didn't want to believe it, and whatever, whatever, whatever. There's a time I was parked at the GO station, and I don't know how he found me because I never told them where I park or wherever. And he found me, he said, God let him found me. And he is ready to tell me that I should not be, according to Isaiah something, should not be aiming for high because everything will be destroyed or whatever, whatever, whatever. And I'm like, I ain't aiming for shit. God showed me that. God showed me X strategy, and I'm just moving in faith. This is God. I didn't ask for it. I didn't go after it. I wasn't aiming for it. I wasn't working towards it either. And many times just God inspired me to keep going for it. So I was like, fine. So it's not my heart. But here's the next thing. A lot of people like to project. So maybe that's the thing with him. Anyways, let's fast forward to another significant moment. This time, I was in my car for a white small time, and I was like, God, you're gonna give me that $10 billion you promised from the pastor, and blah, blah, blah. And I was getting frustrated. I'll even put in some of the tweets, editing in, because now, yes, I'm using my laptop. It's still broken. I'll send a picture of that too. But I'm connected to the TV that's here, so I can edit. I was frustrated. And I was done by the Wednesday. Mind you, the weekend, my father prayed for me. My mother gave me food the day before, all kind of stuff, or money for food. And said to Connor, then I woke up to police. Mind you, I gave up the night before. I said I was, my decision, my plan was to be done, go take a shower. And if they said come home, I would have said fine. And go back to the room God said not to go back to. If only they did what I asked. If only they went to me and say, what do you want, Danielle? Or do what you want. And when they come to me and do what I want, I would have been done with this shit. This shit was in the end of July. Well, July 28 and 29. And that means, and that's 2021, darlings. So that's over a year ago. I'll be done with this shit, back in my room, planning for other things. Wouldn't be talking about no queen of a kingdom, including countries of Jamaica. I don't think Canada is involved, but I don't know if Canada is. Maybe Barbados, Haiti, Dominican Republic, many different countries in the Caribbean that would seek to want what God is providing. Hey, they chose. And what they chose to do was call police. And you know what's funny? Because they called the police, I went to a hospital and spent 7 days. And mind you, days before that, weeks before that, I was wondering myself if I was delusional. And you know what's funny? If I left that hospital with a full diagnosis as a mentally ill or some disorder of some sort, I believe everything I experienced was because of it and not God. I would believe the reason I'm hearing this voice of God or moving and this and that happening despite having other evidence, I would have just chalked up to being bipolar, being something, whatever they think I am, or diagnosed me as at that hospital. Because I saw it, they had intensive. I couldn't even have my phone or a laptop. I was like in a prison under high surveillance. I mean, that was during the time of Olympics, and we won 1, 2, 3 in the women run sprint, and I ready to scream, and they were like, "What's happening?" Yeah, they know when you're asleep. They check on you every 15 minutes. I'll attach the tweet that includes the documents there. Like, seriously. Yeah, seriously. And let's continue. You know what's also funny? Another time they did something like that was instead of do what I ask, instead of just supporting me, they gave me more fuel. Because when they now follow behind me to Jamaica, I said what they would do, and a few hours later, they did exactly that. I told my cousin and I told my landlord exactly what they executed. And it's like, I felt like, no, I just know my parents. It's just not even say it was like a profit thing. No. And then what they did was now maybe had to create a YouTube video to now create a platform. Now I have an audience. Now people are wondering what this is about. Even if the audience drops because they're like, we don't like the swearing, it's still there, can't be killed. And when God delivers, no, there'll be proof that it happened. Oh. Then let's talk about December. No. Let's talk about a little further before that. They go into court. They told me this in their face. They're going to lie. Then I didn't see this. So this was an event. This happened when I was leaving somewhere I used to go often. And the Holy Spirit's like, run. So I'm like, okay. And I run through this passageway. And because I don't want to look like a crazy person in the middle of the town, so I stopped running and I started walking briskly. Then I saw a taxi that I knew and decided to go my direction. And so I took him. Then I was explaining the situation, I got this and that. Then he's like, oh, mind you, when they go to court, they're trying to get the Minister of Health, mental health, whatever, and they have to have some kind of proof or whatever to say that I'm mentally ill. So they went with some dog shit excuse that you can't stay longer than 72 hours old, which means XYZ. Despite I'm telling them over and over, I was not mentally ill. If I was released with a mental illness, I would have the release papers saying XYZ, and not just saying XYZ, they would also give it to the person I'm released to, which is family. They couldn't release me to anyone else. And I showed my aunt the paper. It was just a flyer on some things that happened in the hospital. If she saw something, she would have said something. But they refused to listen then. And so they went to courts, which now create audience. More people are aware of this case. People are now being manipulated, which can now be sued by me. Oh, these people are just causing chaos and problems everywhere. Anyways, they continued, they manipulated the system, got what they want, and got this Ministry of Health bus that goes around to get people injection. That is why I didn't want to come to this location, but we'll talk about that soon. And they inject someone who they think or they believe or have proof that they're mentally ill. They take either to the hospital, they diagnose you, and whatever. And they knock you out. In that medication is knockout. They give you something to knock you out. The fuck out. And they do it skillfully in the sense that someone break this down, an officer of the law, break this down to me a day before it happened. And she said, they will bring someone you know to you, beside you, then they'll talk you down, and then someone else with the medical person will sneakily just inject you and you're out of it. So you can't even fight back. And guess what? This taxi driver decided to tell me that, oh, but didn't see one of them must stay down. And then the taxi stand where I would have to go to get taxi home. And look at that. The boys that tell me to run because of danger was validated by their own action. Then now, let's fast forward to when I was forced to go to May Pen Hospital, coerced, because I thought I was making this decision. They got someone who acted like he was a mediator for everybody. He's on everybody's side. I'll make sure you're taken care of. I'll make sure you're taken care of. And your rights are taken care of. This is not someone who legally can do that. But, he's trying to be a peacemaker. So I said, I'm going to where I want. I wasn't sure where to go because I know they have people in the nearest hospitals which they can use and manipulate. Mind you, the Adventist church here is big and huge, and he have minions who have nephews and nieces that are in the medical field. Oh yeah, now I found out they have a wife too that's now officially a doctor and was training at the May Pen Hospital. But let's not even go there. I'm talking about how they gave me more validation. I went to the hospital, and if you see the video called Heed My Word, that is where I got validation there. I literally saw a vision I had in 2015 come to pass in front of me. Like, because I went, and because of their push. If they didn't push me, how would I see it? I saw it in the ER, and the only way I could have seen it is to be admitted. If God said I'm untouchable, so I'm not going to the ER for anything medical, like a cut, unless I'm going to go for giving birth, which honestly, these hospitals, not trying to judge, but needs lots of work. And then you hear about the fetuses. Anyway, let's continue. Then the fact that now when they carry me there, I got a CT scan. It's like people want to think I maybe there's something physically wrong with my brain talking about God this, God that. I got a CT scan that said I'm clear, fine, and should be on a reasonable mind unless there's something else. So there's nothing physically wrong. So you go to the hospital in Canada, I got something that say I'm not mentally ill. As well as there's those physical doctors that check out my physique and they're like, what? This don't make no sense. Until you have the hospital here that validates that there's nothing physically wrong with my brain when I said and God this. Huh. Everything else can be easily proven in court that they were manipulated. Trust me, that was a mosquito. I have proof. I save everything, I write everything down, and I record. Ooh, I ain't stupid. They all know that too. I don't know why they acting like that because they're doing all the wrong things and expect I'll be like, oh, don't hurt me. No, I'm gonna be like, bitch, try me. Okay, watch this. And then who feels it? Because they feel like they achieved something. And then what they did was validate me, empower me, and keep me going. Because you know what's the next thing that happened with that hospital? This is before God said I was going to be a future queen. I felt empowered, and not just empowered, I felt that I needed to fix that system. And I could because I was willing to fucking fight. That means I'm willing to go to court and sue those motherfuckers. Oh, I'm not talking about parents. No. I'm talking to doctors, the staff, a little more the doctors in charge, because the nurses was ready to say, okay, we see that you are fine. But those in charge did not want to listen. Then I want to charge, or not charge, sue the hospital itself for the system. Maybe whoever is behind that create a system where it can easily be manipulated by malicious parents. Hey, if they didn't do it, I wouldn't be so advocative, whatever the word is. Why? People would say you should be law because you can argue and blah blah blah. I was like, nah, I'd never be a lawyer. And then they're like, be a politician. No, I'd say I'd be a advocate. Then I'd be a politician. And I was like, no, I don't want to be a politician. And then I was like, but I'm advocate. Like, advocate. Like having organization and advocate for those who need it. That's how I saw myself. Look at God. But anyways, we'll get there. So now that I was put in a position where I heard other people were put in the same position while I was at hospital, that this is a common issue where people's rights are not prioritized and medical work is not properly done. Because if someone's sick physically, you look to the patient to seek the problem, not to the person who raised them. Because if the person said they're feeling a pain, they got a cut, it's bleeding, who do you believe? You believe the parents that said they're not bleeding when they're bleeding in front of you? Or what? Or if the person in front of you is not sick and the parent says sick because he peed the bed, you just give me water. I just drank water. Now, let's now explain. Oh, especially these are people who are adults with age, time, and space to know about themselves and their body and know what's what. So these are not children cases I'm talking about. This is an adult. I'm 26 years old. Advocacy. And you know what that did? it propelled the state for where God is going to take me. Because let's talk about another time. I went to Westmoreland, and that's because I'm faithing, we'll talk about that. Oh, there's a video on that. And I was waiting at the police station. And I said I wanted to charge the person who slapped me with the hose 5 times. Mind you, I was there for quite some time and no one seeked to charge her, despite I said it and I had proof. Huh. They didn't even go to check what the issue is, just take me up and go. No. See, here's the thing. Now the advocacy, I'm going to charge. No. Sue. And people are like, no, you can't sue the police, these we have money. Did you not check the latest videos? $100 million. Should be far more than I need. $1 billion. A drop in the bucket, what I'd need. 200 billion. It's like if it didn't touch my pocket. $1 trillion plus. It's like chump change. Okay. So there's another advocacy. Then they keep coming after me. Then now. I told my parents what God said. We'll not talk about all the problems. We just tell you what God said. They'll redeem themselves to my children. Instead of moving in that, they decide to start attacking me more. And I got more into like, you have to redeem yourself to my children. Then on top of that, God even decided, you know what? I decided to make a contract and I set an amount, which was smaller than the amount now and the requirements that are now. And you know what's funny? They continue to ignore it. They didn't do what I say. Then God said, listen up. What I say will be done. Write these down in the contract instead. And now, instead of helping me, give me access, God's like, you know what? Demand more and demand the whole thing. And you know what'd be funny? If they did that, you know what I'd be focused on? Raising those 4 children or how many I get access to right now. Focus on cooking, making sure they have things to do. Maybe trying to focus on products for my hair, clean up the place, cut the yard, all kind of stuff. I'd be too focused on the little family I created than to really think about God said this, God said that, half the time and space. By the way, God don't speak when you're too distracted because he wants you to hear him clearly. That's why he wakes me up at 3 in the morning. And because I've been too unoccupied, as in I'm not distracted, I have very little to do but to try and make sure I eat something that day, that God gets all the time and space to do what now? Speak to me. And you know what now? God speaks to me and tell me things like, you're not just the queen of Jamaica in the future. You'll create a whole kingdom with countries. You're going to be the richest person. No, the richest monarch. Not just from Europe, the richest people in the world. Monarchs will have to donate to you so that you can provide it back. Now plan for that. Prepare for that. What will you do? How will these people, you could say subjects, citizens of countries, benefit from this? How would you funnel it back to them? Plan it, write it down, more, because I have nothing else to do. So now they decided to do what I said in the first contract, or part of it. Then now that they force it, they use their minions and their minions' friends, so they make it seem like it's not their minions, make new people through their links as the Adventists. Yes, the police chat too much, and I listen too keenly, I should say. And now I was forced here to do the first part. You know what's funny? My original plan to raise those 4 children and focus on the little family I create is gone. As in, I would rather wait till I got the mulala, because I missed his birthday and so I can just spoil them. Not really. But have the time and space because I'll have workers to do everything else. And focus on the queendom. Yes. That is why I'm dressed like this. More is coming. And for sure I'm claiming it now. It's like instead of working with me, which end up would get you what you want, you fight it and you get what God wants. And I'm just like, you know what? Why the hell not? Why the fucking hell not? I like dressing up. I like it very much. And I like having and eating good. That will come. Oh, not just will come. When I trust God and follow what He says, I eat good. I mean, I eat good. Even if it's not every day, all day. No, even if it's not all day long, I eat good. The last time I ate good was I ate this KFC Friday. By the Sunday, I ate KFC again. Bruh, when I feel for something, it just comes to me. Like, I want a zinger box. And I'm not talking cheap food. And then I ate some fish today, fried fish and and I just need to have more options. And now that I'm here, I'll be able to cook good now. And eat what I want, make some pizza, whatever. Yeah. You fucked up! Now you found out! Keep attacking. You're just gonna keep making God's plan come to pass. Oh, one more thing! Because I've been just avoiding space. I said I'd rather die until I get that in writing, in a contract, and the house in my title. But here's the thing. I'm here already. And I know the attacks haven't done or ended. You know, even the way they set up this place coincide with the most recent vision God gave me. You know what's the vision? Yes, I had to run through bush away from my parents. But this time will be against military attack and all that stuff. And I'll be running through bush again. And you know what's funny? That vision said it's like leading to the promise type of thing. I don't know if that's the first step towards the promise or you start and then I have to run. But after I run through the bushes, you know who I meet? Oh, no, not just me. I get guided towards. Oh, no, not by just a magical angel pop up in front of me. I'm talking people God inspired to guide me to. Mr. Ryan fucking Fowler, don't. I'm not smiling about it, so don't. He's a disgusting weak ass motherfucker. That don't know what he lost are about to lose. But yeah, that's the vision. So that part I'm not a fan of. But bruh, you're just setting it out. Which means if that comes to pass, everything else comes to pass. As well as I saw another vision of a tanker truck driving towards the exits right near where I lived. And I told someone about it right before it started to happen. And that was about last month or the month before. Now, what's funny? You know what's funny? On top of that, when I get visions, they come to pass as they are. They're not symbolic. But I decided, because I didn't know that I was blessed with visions like that, when God showed me the vision, the dream, and that's the vision I drew in 2018. I thought, oh, it's not literal. It's symbolic. It means I'm Queen Miss World, right? When God's like, no. Okay, go ahead, think that. Then He tried to show me, you're blessed with visions that are as they are. What you see is what will happen. And how many visions did I say? What did I say was gonna happen? Keep fucking with me. You'll just find out.